Welcome guys, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the CNC Q2 and how it's performed after almost a year. I've used this machine exclusively since I got it, and I want to let you know how it's performed. So here's the box it came in. Here's the machine. I kept the box because, well, I just keep boxes. It's been used quite a bit. Again, I use only this machine since I've had this machine. And if you guys watch and follow along the channel, you know that you'll see that this is primarily the machine we're using in most of our videos. Now, I won't be going over specs or anything like that on this machine because, well, you can just go check out the other video. I'll link it somewhere up here. But we already went through all the specs. I just want to give you my final thoughts, go through the machine briefly, and let you know if I still think it's worth it today. Giving you some pros and some cons so you can make a decision yourself. So I'll start by breaking it open, and as you can see just by spinning that, the clicks are really nice, it's smooth. I do have some wear on here from pushing it on and off and whatnot. It hits sometimes and you're doing this number and you push it in and they start screwing it on. And when you use it regularly and all the time, you know, sometimes I can be a little rough on them. So they do have a little bit of wear and tear, but nothing that has slowed this machine down, nothing that has made it impossible to work with. So we'll put that back together. And as you know, you can also take open the back. And as long as you're putting a little lubrication in these every once in a while, maybe every couple of months, mainly just here on the shaft. As you can see, I have a little bit of lubrication on it right now. And that's the whole machine. That's pretty much it. This is your direct drive motor. And sometimes you'll find putting that back in can be a little bit of a pain, but just take your time and it will slide back in there and then you just screw it back down. Needs a little cleaning on the outside now that I just fingered her all up. So I briefly want to go over why I ended up buying this machine. Prior to using this machine, I had been using the Cheyenne Hawk. And I really did like this machine, but it was really the first main pen style tattoo machine I had ever used. So it wasn't a big deal to me to try something different. I needed to try something different. I had only ever used the swash plate style pen machines, where this was a direct drive machine. And it blew my mind when I first got them because you can tell by the size. I just wasn't prepared for such a small package here. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. It is rather small and you're used to having something like this. And again, let me show you. This is a direct drive machine. These are swash plate machines. Here's the other CNC we checked out. Here's just a random machine. They're all consistently about the same height. So when this came in, I was shocked. But what I thought was crazy at the time ended up becoming something that I really, really liked. But why did I buy this machine? I could have just carried on using the current machine I had, but everybody was asking me, hey, what voltage are you running? Hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And the only way I could give my advice is if we were both using the same equipment. If you were using the Cheyenne Hawk, then we could have communicated. I could have said, hey, this is what I'm running, this is what I'm not running. But there was plenty of people who just wanted to do exactly what I was doing until they got the hang of things, and then they could kind of venture off and do things their own way. And I kind of had that in mind. So I went out and I was trying to seek some sort of tattoo machine that was decent, had a decent motor in it, all the ins and outs for under $200. And that's what led me to the CNC Q2. And in some places you can get this as low as $170. And for that kind of money, I'm going to say right now, it is definitely worth it. There are far more pros to this machine than there are cons. The only thing I've had to do again is just make sure I put a little lubricant on that push rod. Also, maybe a little on your O-ring from time to time to keep it from drying out. But other than that, that's your maintenance. That's all it comes down to. I've ran this machine with several different power supplies. Originally, I ran it with a clip cord for a little while, and then I made some changes and went with a wireless battery supply. And that I ran like that for quite a while, just like you see it here. Of course, this machine would have been wrapped up and whatnot, but this is how I ran it, and it was really comfortable. And it felt nice. I'd run the battery over here. It never got in my way. If there was something in the way, I would turn the whole machine maybe this way for a little bit. If you're up close to the face, maybe. But this ran perfectly fine, just like this for a long time. Later on, of course, if you watch the videos, I switched over and I'm now using the critical wireless. And the same thing, I've had no problem. The weight feels good. And when you add this to the back, it doesn't get too terribly long, especially if you were to compare it to just a standard machine like this. It's not much different than this right here. And that's your power and everything in one. So for me, I wanted a smaller package in the machine, which allowed for the power supply to go on and not really change the dynamics of it all that much for me. And a big reason why I bought this machine when I was doing my research was because of the motor. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Fahaber motor, and I read nothing but good things about this motor. And I have nothing but good things to say about this motor, about this machine, about the package in general. It's solid, it's been hitting well, I've had no problems, I pack black, I do shading. I mean, I do everything that you guys see me do on the channel with this machine, and really, I've just gotten really comfortable with it, and I've realized that I really like a direct drive machine. Hands down, way more than I like swash plate machines. But again, that's just me, and you gotta practice, you gotta try the different machines to really know what you like most. This is all just my personal opinion. And again, my personal opinion is I really like this machine. And before I get into the cons on this machine, now I'll warn you there's not a lot of cons, but before I get into it, I do want to say that in the giveaway at 100,000 subscribers, we are going to be giving away this machine. I've used for almost a year. It's still running great. It's running solid. And I think it's going to be really cool to see somebody out there take this machine and do, amazing things. Also, we're going to be giving away the CNC X1, and we're also going to be giving away this machine here. I don't know much about it. It came in the mail. There wasn't no information with it really. I think it was a mix-up somewhere. Wrong machine sent. But nonetheless, we'll be giving these away. RCA connection, RCA connection. This is a DC connection. Whatever. Also, I'll be giving away these power supplies. I have 2 of them. They will be going out the door as well with one of these. And finally, I have a box over there full of a bunch of different products that have been sent to me, and so I want to make sure that I get those out to you guys in this giveaway as well. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming up in like a week, maybe 2. So let's jump into some cons. Again, there's not a lot of them. One con, and it doesn't happen a lot, it is occasional. All the needle cartridges that I use for this machine go in and out, but every once in a while, I don't know if it's the cartridge or something, I'll have a snag. It'll be hard to pull it out. I'll have to give it a little bit of force. Sometimes I'll have to snug them down a little tighter or the opposite. So I'm not sure if that's this or just using different brands of needles through this machine, giving it that problem. But I figured I'd mention it just in case anybody was wondering. It does take all the cartridges that I've tried. Some of them are a little finicky sometimes and will require a little more pressure here and there, tightening or loosening them or popping them in and out. But it has ran everything. So is that a con? I don't know, but I'm letting you know about it. But real quick, I'll show you. Again, it does take cartridges, no problem. That's in, and we can listen to it run as well. So there it is running with the cartridge in. I don't know if the audio can pick this up, but it's really smooth. It's not very loud. You can hear it humming away there, but if you were in the room right now, you're not really hearing much. It's very smooth. There's not a lot of vibration. It's well balanced. And like I said, most needles will pop right in and right out, no problem. It's just every once in a while you might catch a snag. And again, not sure if it's the needle or the machine. Another con, not necessarily about this machine, the company is a China-based company. I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but customer service is tricky. Now, I've not had to work with customer service personally. I've not had any problems. I've not had a reason to call customer service, but I have talked to others who did have a reason to call, and customer service was of no help. They were really let down and upset by the whole situation. I had talked to a few people about that. Again, I didn't have that problem, but that's definitely a con. Again, it hasn't affected me, but it's information I want you to know. And along those same lines, again, I'm not trying to rag on CNC because they have nothing but an awesome product here that I'm praising the whole time through. But I will say they need to work on their website as well. Now, this has a 3.5 millimeter throw, but depending on where you read the information at, whether it's on their website or on some sites where they're selling this stuff, it gives you different information. So they need to understand what the lingo is that they're saying and maybe take a little extra time to make sure that the writing on their website and in other various places where this is promoted is understandable, legible, and readable for their users. So again, those last two really weren't at the machine. It's just some other stuff you might want to think about when getting into this machine. Finally, the final thing, and again, I'm reaching here to find another con because there's really not a lot. Again, it's not a complex machine. It's very simply built, but it works really well. And I know I've fallen in love with this. But the final con would be, and one last time, I'm reaching. They don't have any replaceable grips. I'm not saying that I use them or I need some sort of replaceable grip, but if you're out there and you're wondering, that's just one con, that there are no replaceable grips for this, no disposable grips for this. Nothing you can unscrew this, put a disposable grip on there and go to work. Now again, has it affected me? No, I'm just bringing you guys the information so that you're informed. Again, this will be the last time I use this machine. I have a new machine arriving tomorrow, and I look forward to testing that out and seeing how it compares to this machine. They're in two different price brackets, so I will be interested to find out. And again, this machine has allowed me to make decisions about what I like in a machine. I like the direct drive, so I looked for a direct drive, and that's what I'm going with, and that's what will be here tomorrow. But again, nothing but good things about this machine. I know that if you own this machine, you probably feel the same way. There's not a whole lot of negativity about it other than the cons I feel like I provided. But if you guys have any pros that I missed that you want to put in the description below, please do so. If you have cons that I just didn't go through, then let me know in the description below. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell to get notifications when we post or anything else like that. CNC Q2, you've been awesome. And until next time guys, peace.